Hey guys, it's Joey and this is a witchy vlog for the Ogham Luis Rowan. I decided to keep this Ogham close for an extra week. I'd been having some difficult times and its protection felt necessary to hold on to. There are limited amounts of things that I'm going to read out with this video because a lot of it's personal and private and I don't wish to share it, so I shan't. I will share the usual amount of information probably, even though it's been 2 weeks. Stay close to anything that makes you glad you are alive, Havis. Do what you feel in your heart to be right, you'll be criticised anyway. Eleanor Roosevelt. Do not chase people. Be you and do your own thing and work hard. The right people who belong in your life will come to you and stay. And then there was a beautiful poem by Patty Wigginton, Bridget, Bride of Earth. Bride of the Earth, sister of the fairies, daughter of the Tuatha De Danann, keeper of the eternal flame, in autumn the nights begin to lengthen and the days grow shorter, as the earth went to sleep. Now Brigitte stokes her fire, burning flames in her hearth, burning light back to us once more, bringing light back to us once more, sorry. Winter is brief, but life is forever. Brigitte makes it so. The old religion is the magic of the earth itself. It is the essence which binds all things together. It will last long beyond the time of men. From the Magical Hearth. If I'm flying solo, at least I'm flying free. From Wicked. Have I made the worst decision of my life out of fear? Following quote, sometimes you fall down because there is something that you are supposed to find. Last night Morrigan's wand was in the doorway laying across the door, and I can't account for it because it was in a bag and can't have been caught and moved there. Lying across a doorway of protection of barrier, and hawthorn across the door stops people entering your home in an astral state and prevents spirits from entering. I am strong because I have been weak. I am fearless because I have been afraid. I am wise because I have been foolish. Great Spirit God on Facebook. The secret of change is to focus all of your energy not on fighting the old but building the new. Socrates. I've not been writing this much, I've simply been sort of surviving and this week. Been tested, been in pain. Rowan has definitely been protecting me from psychic attack. The hawthorn wand inexplicably being across my doorway seems to back up that idea. I feel like I failed. I feel the pain of it like nothing before. Perhaps once before, when one of my exes abandoned me to homelessness and loss of his so-called love. I will not give up hope. I also came on my womanly time, which didn't help my emotions. I will not fail again. I swear it by Morrigan. I'm not afraid any longer. Some of the tree lore from druidry.org. Rowan berries are healing and can be used as a laxative for sore throats, inflamed tonsils, hoarseness and even diarrhea. Folklore. Associated with Brigitte, the Celtic patroness of arts, healing, spinning, smithing and weaving, spindles and spinning wheels were traditionally made of rowan in Scotland and Ireland. Rowan trees planted near stone circles in Scotland were said to be especially powerful. The Fae were said to hold their celebrations within these stone circles protected by rowan trees. Modern interpretation of the Celtic Ogham Luis placed this as the sacred tree of February, and in bulk, again tying back to Brigitte. Rowan twigs were placed above doorways to protect the inhabitants against misfortune and evil spirits. It was one of the trees sacred to druids and used for protection against sorcery and evil spirits. Druids also burnt rowan on funeral pyres for it symbolised death and rebirth. The druid ovates and seers burnt rowan in rites of divination and to invoke spirits. Druids also used it in rites of purification. Ancient bards considered it the tree of bards, bringing the gift of inspiration. Rowan is one of the 9 sacred woods burnt in the druids' Beltane fire. It was also associated with dragons and serpents. Sacred rowan trees were once said to be guarded by dragons. Also called the Witch's tree, used to enhance psychic powers for spells of healing, success, protection, and the wood is often used for witches' wands. My first wand was of rowan and amethyst. Rowan has always been my tree. I love the name from the Nightworld books. My first wand was rowan and amethyst. I still have it all the years later. It still fills me with awe and love. The resurgence of the Bridgie connections again, and no coincidence she is around. It is her sacred time of year, and there's no shame in honouring her as family to the Morrigan. Tracy shed snowdrops on my wall and said the pureness and strength of this flower never fail to remind me the possibility to overcome whatever we think is impossible to push through, which touched at my heart. And Hazel added, for years I've imagined a snowdrop inside my heart that weathers every storm, even if every other part of me does not. The messages of which help me to push through this week. I wrote down some herbs for protection and general protection. So herbs for protection against psychic attack: clove, nettle, rosemary, yarrow, sandalwood, salt, dill, ivy. General protection: bay, dragon's blood, angelica, rue, hawthorn, cinnamon, mullein, St. John's wort, vervain, and rowan berries naturally. The oil was part and parcel of the video already. Aquamarine came to me this week. Making oneself unconquerable through learning about the physical world and oneself. It bestows perseverance, discipline, and lightheartedness. Encourages the lover to return, helps 2 people with different lifestyles to live in harmony. The poem for this week, which is my intellectual property, all rights reserved, I wrote it. I am loose, Bridget calls, her flaming arrow where justice falls. I am the shield against your foe to purify away all your woe. I stand here proud to usher spring, the witch's tree, magic within. I kept loose for an extra week for the protection it bore me, the protection I needed, and wrote down a little of my woes and sufferings. They happened, but perhaps it is best not to overdwell on them, to record them and recall them. Probably it's not a wise course nor a healthy course. Instead, I shall remember that Luce helped shield me from worse. Nadia shared the following: stop being afraid of what could go wrong and start being positive about what could go right, and that has to be my motto going forward. I wrote down some in bulk crystals: amethyst, aquamarine, turquoise, garnet, onyx, moonstone, and some herbs: angelica, basil, bay, benzoin, clover, dill, evergreen, heather, myrrh, rosemary, willow, yellow flowers, and rowan. Today is a super new moon in Aquarius, and tomorrow is the Chinese New Year of the Horse. It's interesting how we embrace the Chinese tradition. Perhaps it's the animal aspect. Horses are hugely important in Celtic mythology and to Morrigan, of course. A lot of my magic and energy this week has been to heal, and to try again, and to stand up and fight again, for hope. And that has been the overarching theme of the week. To renew hope. Many blessings.